Hello, hello. This is Nix again, back for Onigaiko. Now, first things first, I notice I um really like it when people put like a background image here. Um, I think it feels really hard to like it's a little blinding without. I'm gonna turn on um, my dark mode uh thing for just for viewing this set because I really just it's just a personal thing. I can't stand the bright lights, black bright background pictures, and if it's like a flat screen of white, it kind of bothers me. Um, I know it's gonna make viewing the art a little more difficult, but oh well. All right. Let's see. One thing I noticed immediately is that is this the first set that we've seen that has pop out planeswalkers? Um, yeah, it's the only set actually with pop out planeswalkers, and for me, that's kind of a huge deal. Well, it's not. I can't say huge deal, but I I feel planeswalkers. I feel like have to have the pop outs, or else they don't really feel like planeswalkers. Um, and you know that alone will give some points to Onigaiko, the set. It shows a level of polish and designer intent by having that extra bit of detail on each of your planeswalkers. Anyway, it's been a while since I've read this set. Um, I think Onigaiko has had a long history and of like changes and updates, and this seems to be its latest iteration. I think I was pretty high, well, yeah, fairly high on it during previous submission seasons with Onigaiko. I think it was a set that I would not be disappointed in getting into the format. I don't think it was ever really top one of my favorite for any previous submission. But definitely it's been in like top 3 or 4 consideration for some previous submissions. I don't actually remember when the last submission. All right. So graduation. I think this card's completely different from what it used to be. Silver can correct me on this, but yeah, this feels great. Raise the past, and then you put +1/+1 counters. Like, I don't think it's constructed playable unless you are really cooking something. But we don't have a raise the past effect, and this does the raise the past thing, and it also like stabilizes your board in an extremely strong manner. So yeah, cool card. I mean, like this is like a solid mythic design. All right, this gets into technique. It used to be paradigm shift, but I think like I'm not sure why it's called technique now. Did paradigm get used as a keyword in canon? Not sure. I think it might have. Okay, so it's a 5 mana planeswalker. So usually like the top end, in most decks or near the top end. You could +1 to draw a card, -2 to bounce 2 things, and -9 to X out all but the bottom 10 cards of each opponent's library. Alright. It's a pretty strong planeswalker. Um or like a pretty decent planeswalker. I don't think it's quite competitive enough because it's again, once you get to like the 5-6 mana area, you have to compete with Salome, and it's really hard to beat Salome. Um or I've been saying Salome. It might be Shalom. Let me check. Salome. Where do I think it's does Shalom mean something else? Well, this is not Salome, right? This is Salome. Salome. Okay, sure. Anyway, solid card. It's Kajiwara Ai, but the Rockstar version of her. Um, so +2, draw X cards, and each opponent loses X life, where X is 1 plus the number of creatures that have died this turn. Alright. Create 2/2 Black Robot Fan, and -3, each player sacrifices 2 creatures. And you have the technique mode where you can have both players sacrifice 2 creatures for 4 mana. Alright. I think it's a little bit too expensive for constructed, but I have no issues with this Planeswalker. Akira Hellraiser Sukuban. Okay, so the technique is 7 mana, triple all damn. Okay, sure, sure. Surveil 1, then exile the top card of your. Okay, actually, I do think Paradigm Shift was a better keyword. Technique seems a very generic kind of thing, and Paradigm Shift's like, I just love how it like flips the card on its head. The you know that's because that's what it does. It completely changes the use case of a card. Surveil 1, then exile the top card of your library you may play on any turn you attacked. Okay. And create an X1 Spirit. Okay, that's fine. I think the zero is pretty nice too. But the spirit does disappear, so that's worth noting. Yeah. Solid Planeswalker. I mean, like, yeah, I have no issues with it. Again, I also don't think this is quite strong enough for constructed, but it seems solid. Kyoko City's Hope. So it's a 2 mana 2/2 Vigilance. That could act as a mana dork, and its backside. Multicolored bullshit. Okay, sure. I'm sure this is all cool and dandy. Um, yeah, whatever. If you're spending 7 mana to make a 5/5, you can have whatever text you want on it. Sure. Okay. Rin, Obstructive Exorcist, so you can use it as a situational board wipe. Or you could have it become. Ooh, what's a card? Arcades? I feel like there's a more like famous effect for this. A door in the siege tower, right? Alright, sure. Yeah, no issues with this at all. Cool card. Oh, actually, I think I might be interested in. I kind of wish this first effect was until your next turn. Um, just because, or both players. Not sure. It's not a really big deal. I think this version is fine too. Create X tokens that copy a target creature you control. Okay, and then when you next cast a creature spell, copy this. Copy that spell X times. You may choose. Okay. So whenever you cast a black non-creature spell, you can pay 1 life to create a treasure. Sure. And 7 mana, multicolored bullshit. Cool. Hibana test pilot. When it enters, you create a 2020 hypersuit. Sure, why the hell not? Oh no, you forgot an Oxford comma. As long as there are 10 or more instant sorcery and or cards with technique in your graveyard, each vehicle you control has crew 1. Okay. I actually did see this card before looking at Onigaiko, and I think the second line is a good way of making sure that Hibana is relevant, as well as the vehicle you create. Is this too strong? I don't know. Uh, Maybe it's actually too easy to assemble 10 power to make the 2020 swing. Yeah, like if you have like Jack effects, maybe it is. Probably not though. If you have 10 power on the board and you're playing red or like close to mono red, you probably won the game. You probably just deserve to win. I could see reason to cut indestructible from this vehicle just to make it a little more interactable, but I don't have too many issues with it. Okay, so this can be a fight spell, or it can be a planeswalker with +2/+2/+1/+1 counters. Okay. -2 fight, and -5 create a 6/6. Okay. And that is the Mythics. Proctor, Talon Proctor, other creatures you control get +1/+1. Oh, and here's the first instance of Instruct. Whenever this creature attacks, up to one other target creature gets the following abilities until end of turn. So you can make this like a 3/3, and yeah, okay. I think it's a good example or good demonstration of possible use cases of Instruct because it could give the evasion as well as buff up your board. So yeah, I get also not constructed playable, but whatever. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player or non-creature permanent, surveil one, then conjure a contract into your hand. This is a very solid blue card, actually, right? A 4-mana 4/4 with Ward 2 can kind of stabilize a board by itself. And yeah, I could see this as the top end of tempo that can. I don't know about using that second line. That second line of text is usually incidental or used for combo, or in this case, it's probably just going to be incidental value. But a 4/4 flyer with for 4 with Ward 2 and that conjure ability is pretty strong. Oh, and the conjure ability. Um the conjure ability gets discounted. Or the contracts get discounted. Alright. I think this is a cool card. Possibly constructed playable as a blue top end in like blue red tempo. Not entirely sure if you want to be like blue red. I think you want to. If you're in mono blue though, there's a lot of incentive to run the instant sorcery cards. Like decks with heavy instants or sorceries, and this being the one creature might not be the best option. Either way, I think it's a well designed card, and I have no issues with it. Actually, I like it a lot. When it enters or a creature dies, you can put a book counter on it, and then you can remove counters to return target creature card with mana value X or less from your graveyard. Okay. Yep. Technique. So you could cast a spell with mana value 4 or less, or whenever it attacks, you get to do that. Mm, the face-up mode might be a little bit. Oh, as well, it is target instant spell. Okay, maybe it's okay. When it enters, search for library. Okay, this is like for Spirit's Tribal. I assume that's one of the core archetypes. And yeah. Look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may put a creature card with mana value. You know, I actually do like the like double pipped card in one color, but the technique is in a different color. It has some implications in limited, letting different decks use techniques or like cards that they wouldn't otherwise be able to, as well as incentivizing splashing. So that's pretty cool. In addition, I mean, this card's fine. Yeah, it's just a solid card design. You may cast this spell as though it has flash. If you behold an advisor as you cast it, turns return up to 1. This feels a little bit overcosted for 4 mana. I think you can get away with 3 mana 3/2. We do have that 3 mana 3/2 that bounces a creature when it enters already, and that is an uncommon. And I'm okay power creeping that a little bit. At the beginning of your end step, if you cast a creature and non-creature spell this turn, each player's opponent loses life equal to the amount of life they've lost this turn. Funny, I think the hoop's a little bit too much for this sort of card. Deals 4 damage to each creature, 4 damage to each opponent. When this creature dies, you may exile it. If you do, return target permanent card with mana value less than its mana value from the graveyard to your hand. This. I guess this is very strong. I would put like a little bit of a warning sign. It's like I'm not sure it's completely silly, but it's a strong card. Ryujin of Divine Justice. Sure. If an ability of another creature you control with powers you control triggers, it triggers an additional. This is in the format. It's not amazing. Like it's been tested here and there, but it hasn't like been especially silly at any point. No issues with it. Search your library for a non-creature, non-land card, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. Okay. Solid card. Half-Blade Instigator. Haste, as long as it has first strike, as long as it's attacking. If it would gain life, that gains life minus Half-Blade Instigator's power instead. Okay. Like some soft anti-life gain, which I think is nice because hard anti-life gain at 2 mana 2/2 haste. First strike might be a little bit too much, but I do think this has a place in certain decks. The spell can't be countered. When it enters, create a 2/2 green spirit creature token. Whenever another creature you control enters, put X+1/+1 counters where X is its power. Okay. Okay. Is this Texas? I don't know. Flash, lifelink when it enters a port. Sure. Tonku Tenkami's favored. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 with blood. Okay. If you've cast 3 or more spells this turn, instead create. Oh. Okay. The word technique clips into the instant a little bit. I'm not really sure if there's any easy solution to that. The only thing I can think of is to manually type out the technique keyword and then manually create a new line, but that's a lot of effort, so I don't blame. I mean, that's fine. It's not like MSEM's perfect with that anyway. Technique, when it attacks, each opponent sacks, and then when each creature with mana value 3 or less sacked this way, put it onto the battlefield under your control. It enters tapped and attacking. Okay. Sure. Old Ways Hellraiser. Can be a 4 damage spell. Okay, sure. At the beginning of your end step, if you cast a creature. Okay, so the green-black archetype looks to be the cast a creature and a non-creature. Is this good? I mean, repeatedly drawing cards and putting a land from your hand onto the battlefield. This seems like a strong card, but then again, you do need to find a way to get the cards or the spells to consistently fuel this. For 1 and a green, yeah, I would put a small warning marker in my head on this. I don't think it necessarily needs a nerf, but if it does pass through, uh, but like I would keep a eye on it in any format that it's in. Okay, bounce stuff, and then when it attacks, you can bounce more stuff. Okay, and it's a slow bounce, so there is a safety valve there. Cool. Whenever you cast your... This is actually very cool. Whenever you cast your first non-creature spell each turn, create a tapped 1/1, and then you could sack to surveil 1. So this versus Imp Den or Channeler. What is Channeler now anyway? Okay, so it is once each turn. Versus Channeler, is Surveil 1, so this doesn't create a win condition. Surveil 1 is also like, yeah, less consistent value in general by a lot. So yeah, whenever you cast your first non-creature spell each turn, create a tapped 1/1. Yeah, and that's not like a very strong ability either. And entering tapped means it can't block the turn it comes down, or the turn cycle it comes down. So I'm pretty okay with this. Rio Delinquent Hinotori. Oh. So you could copy target creature. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, you could copy 1, 2, or less. That gains haste, and yeah, okay. Creatures you control with counters on them have ward 1. Whenever creature or land you control enters, up to one target creature gets +1/+1. If that land is a terminal, put +1/+1 counter on it instead. Creatures you control with counters on them have ward 1. Okay. Yeah, I rate the counters. The terminal synergy. I'm aware of what the lands do. I think they're well designed. Well, hold on. I can't say the terminals are well designed because I think I made them. So, yeah, this is fine. Whenever one or more creatures you control with mana value 3 or less leave the battlefield, draw a card. This ability triggers only once each turn. Yep. Tetsuya Strix. When green black destroy target creature, sure. And when it enters or attacks, you may destroy target creature it controller creates a 4/4 golem. Okay. This is a pretty strong card. Its main mode is probably the black green destroy target creature. I think it's worth testing out. I think it's worth trying. The beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 life. If you do, conjure a contract into your hand. Okay. Whenever your prowess ability control triggers, each opponent loses 1 life. Okay. You're cute when you're scared. Funny, Yuri bait. Uh, extra combat or extra combat when it attacks. Okay. Try to creature gets +4/+4. Okay, that's an effect that's perfectly fine to power creep a little bit. And when it attacks, do that. Okay, so it could give itself +4/+4, or it could give something else for it +1/+ encounters. I'm okay with that. Track stars. Okay. Oh, Valiant. That's a new keyword. The first time crossing out, I believe. Cost 1 less for each terminal you control. Yo, I do like the fact that it is double pipped, so it does put a floor on, its ceiling on its power level. When it enters, basically, destroy target creature. Like, tap it down forever. Okay. Yori's Shadow of Regrets. When it enters, target opponent exiles a creature with the greatest amount of power. Okay. That's a giant guy. 8 mana. When it enters, draw a card. When an opponent casts another creature spell, bop them on the head for doing silly things. I want to play this card. I think this is a very fair way for red to deal with um, instant or sorcery spam or spell spamming that certain decks can do. And yeah, I want to play this. You gain X life and it deals text damage to that as you choose among extra creatures. Works as power each of those creatures. Okay. This has to be what's it called? Toho art, right? Surely. Hellraisers, creatures you control get +2/+0 until end, pretty sure. Oh, and is this... Wait, are these rares or uncommons? Okay, yeah, these are uncommons. A jellyfish. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target player exiles a non-token creature they control and returns it to the battlefield. Yeah, so Displacement Kitten's silly, but we're allowed to... This is, like, actually, like, good design and displays kitten. All creatures get -1/-1 until the creature will die this turn exile instead. Okay. Fling? Oh no, this is fight. Or bite. Yeah, bite. And then conjure a contract. Okay. Oh, lower uppercase C. Another small yeah, wording error. Whenever enchanted land is tapped for mana, its control sure. Make it sack it to create a 4/4 vigilance, hexproof, and haste. Okay. Attendant prefect, advisors, okay. Oh, whenever you cast your first non-creature spell each turn, up to one target land you control becomes a 4/4. Hexproof and haste until end of turn is still land. Sure. Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah. This is a lot of power on the board, 6 power, but it is like very reasonable. God, I really think these multicolored paradigm shifts are so cool. Or techniques are so cool. God, why isn't it called paradigm shift again? It's like paradigm shift was such a cool set of words in my opinion. And yeah, I don't know. When it enters from your graveyard or you cast it from your graveyard, exile it. If you do, create a 5/5 black and red spirit or a creature token with menace. Okay. I do like that its recursion is limited. If you do return it, you do have to exile it. This does have duplicity on a 2 mana value card. And I guess it's different being mana value 1, but this card's perfectly fine, in my opinion. When it becomes the target of a spell or ability you control for the first time each turn, up to one target creature can't block each turn. Okay. When this creature deals combat damage to a player or non-creature permanent, draw a card. Very solid stat line, actually. When it attacks, you can sack another card affected creature. You know, I've noticed that, like, a lot of other sets have a significant drop in power in this uncommons and commons, and I feel like the rares in Onigaiko are actually a little bit weaker than most other sets, or at least less pushing for constructed. But the uncommons and commons don't like fall off too hard in power level afterward. Cost 3 left if you cast a creature spell this turn. I'm very okay with this card actually. It's usually a 3 mana value card, but because casting the creature spells, I really do think black should be more encouraged to cast creature spells. We've lived under the tyranny of villainy for a little bit too long, and people haven't figured out how good some black creatures are, and I hope that this can help people remember. And yeah, I have no issues with that card. Maybe it should be sorcery. Well, even if it... That said, most creature spells are cast during your turn, so it effectively does have sorcery. Whenever you draw your second card, okay. I can see the draw second card archetype coming to fruition here. At the beginning of your end step, if you cast a creature and non-creature spell this turn, put 2+1/+1 counters on target creature you control. Okay. Counter. Okay. Yeah. Like, once again, I really love these paradigm shifts that are in different colors. Because blue, it is a blue effect to counter spells, and it is a white, but it's not a white effect to do that. But it is a white effect to counter specific spells that specifically target you, or permanents you control. Target player draws 2 cards, tap up 2 creatures, put a stun counter on each of them. This seems a little overcosted, but it's not too big of an issue. Hidanko Void Shaper, Prowess. I think I would be a little bit wary of double prowess on a mana value 1 card. Just because double prowess does grow to be a lot more power than expected in a lot of different situations. But yeah, I would just keep an eye on it. Fight. Okay. Yeah, like green fighting on a creature is not a thing, but like it is cool on. It's like a thing you could do on red, and then you could put the technique on green. It's just ah, I love this. Exile target player's graveyard. Put a +1/+1 counter on Rooted Gorger for each non-land card. Yeah, just sorry. I need to go back to the different color techniques. It's like silver really like has to explore effects that partially work in one color, and or like a version of it works in one color and then a more specific version of it works in another. And seeing that, knowing like canon cards of Magic and seeing it implemented here is just so cool for me. Is this card OP? No, it's fine. At the beginning of combat on your turn, target creature you control gets +1/+1 and gains vigilance until end of turn. Okay. Terminal synergy. Okay. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap the creature. You can haste until end of turn. Discard up to 2 cards if you do draw that many cards. Okay. 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 Look at the top 3. You may put an advisor or non-creature non-land. Okay, this is a pretty strong card. Probably not quite constructed playable, but I would advise putting this at double blue pip. Its stat line is fairly reasonable, and the non-creature non-land card just hits a wide variety of blue cards that are blue already. So just to be safe, I would put the double blue. Stormcatcher. Mm, I suppose it is just Thundertrap Trainer. Actually, no, this card's fine. Thundertrap Trainer exists, and this is definitely weaker than Thundertrap Trainer and encourages the Advisor's archetype. So I'm okay with it, actually. Sure. Oh, okay. For some reason, I thought this was Mana Valley 2, and I'm like about to freak out, but this is perfectly fine. Gets +3/+0, +X/+0, where X is the greatest mana value among spirits you control, so it is a 2/2 trample. Okay. Uh, Honestly, so far, all of these card designs are super solid. Like, I haven't seen anything that, like, I have, like, some cards, like, like, maybe, like, 2 cards that I'm a little bit concerned about for the power level for being too high, but most others, I'm either like, hey, this is a strong card, and I'm very okay with it being strong, for its specific archetype, or, this is cool too. Wait, did I just miss this card? What the hell? Yeah, this card's awesome. Um, oh yeah, just capitalize your contracts. Okay. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell or another creature. Okay. Sure. Sure. I wish this card was a little bit stronger, actually, because I like the terminal synergy, maybe mana value 4. Also, Zendikar Royal exists, and that card is, like, not playable, and it is mana value 4. At the beginning of each end step, if you sacrifice a permanent this turn, create a token that's a copy of one target token you control. Huh. This card's really strong. Why is it an uncommon? I really like it as well. Yeah, I really like this card. Spell Pierce. One of the most broken cards in Magic, in my opinion. Whenever a creature dies, okay. Deals 4 damage. Oh, actually, is it cool that it has Instruct? A little bit cool. Is Reckless Rage a cannon card? It is. Yeah. Oh, and it triggers Valiant. Just between these two cards, I can see it. Capital P for planes. Wow, there's some like insane uncommon designs that are like kind of awesome. This is awesome. Yeah, this is fine. Destroy target, not land permanent with mana level 3 less. Okay. Um, this. Ooh. I'm pretty okay with this card. I think it would be interesting to see it being used. Yeah. I do like that it is a sorcery. I don't think it would be. I think it would be a little bit too strong at instant. And mana level 3 or less is like the perfect number for this effect. Yeah, I think this is cool. Thirst for inspiration. Doesn't this power creep thirst for no? Ah, no, it doesn't. Come on, it's like instant sorcery cards. Yeah, this is fine. Source of the endless. Create. Why is this uncommon? There's just some crazy uncommons here or there. Um, I know I'm not allowed to complain because I have a tendency to do the same. But, okay, sure. What the hell? You can do whatever you want, I guess. Sure. Neat. Yeah, it's not directly drawing a card. And yeah, this is probably a staple in the Spirits deck, which doesn't exist, but I think after this set would be this set would make it worth trying. Sure. Solid card. Maybe this could have flying, because it is like a flying Torii Gate. Ooh. Oh no, it's spirits only. Still, ooh. Probably okay. This you need extremely high spirits density to make this card work. Neat. Alright, we've gotten into the commons here. Nice. Nice. This is nice. I'm gonna be going through these a little bit more quickly. This is actually pretty solid of card, too. Like, it's reveal eternities on the front side, but you can, if you're also in black, you might consider running it as a 4 mana 4. Well, a 4 mana 4 one's kind of poor. Either way, it's a solid card. Okay, so this is Cathartic Reunion on enchantment. Okay. This is actually also a super solid card, possibly for constructed. Okay. Can we power Creep Shock? Hell yeah, why not? It's worth noting that the actual front side is much, well, I can't say much weaker, but definitely weaker than most 5 mana value counterparts. What? It gains prowess for each other creature you control with prowess. What the hell? What the heck? That's so funny. That's so funny. Is this good? Absolutely not. There's no way this is any good. It's so funny though. Gosh. Terminal cycling 1. You're allowed to do this, right? Yeah, you're allowed to do this. Hell yeah. It's not looking because it doesn't produce the color the turn of. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go through these a little bit more quickly. This is possibly playable and constructed too. I know I've commented a lot about instant sorcery and card with like the being instant sorcery cards in graveyard being a discount. This one I'm okay with because it enters tapped if it's not your turn, and um it's definitely a lot weaker than a lot of other counterparts. Uh because it's 6 blue. I think I would feel slightly more safe if it was 5 double blue, but either way, it's like this thing has so much competition. Like there's so many cards that are better than this as your payoff. Capital C contract. Okay, nice. Okay, so far, these commons have been really solid. Some of them might here or there might be actually playable and constructed, and I think they're just generally quite strong. No, you can't use this art. This is my art for VL in Epsil. Aw. Ooh. Okay, okay. It's so overcosted. This is not playable and constructed whatsoever. It's neat that you could take 2 extra turns if both this and the creature that comes back get um connect. Oh wait, when it deals combat damage to a player or non-creature permanent. Oh no, non-creature, non-creature. Uh, can we please have this at mana value, say 6? I'm maybe asking too much. Or give it ward, too. No, no, no. It needs to be cheaper. It's too expensive. Mana value 6, pretty please, and ward. Whenever one or more creatures you control with powers decode. Neat. Sure, why not? Oh, this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. Oh my gosh. This can go so silly with Mobilize. I love it. Oh, 2 cards with other advisors get +1/+1. Feels a little bit ham-fisted at making the archetype work, but oh well. That's not the worst thing in the world. This seems a little overcosted. But I also, then again, I don't think you can make it cheaper. Maybe also Mana Valley 4 in the flashback? Interesting. So your opponent gets to make fans, and the fans hurt them. This is weird. I'm not really sure what archetype you would put it in. It's only good if like your opponent doesn't have a good way to deal with their own creatures. Hmm. I think I might actually be more interested. Well, it's a flavor pick, for sure. Oh, okay, yeah, it's probably fine. I was gonna be say that this is silly in duplicates, but it says legendary. Neat. Right, now we're on to the multicolored. Draw 3 cards. It deals damage to any target equal to your hand size, and you gain that much life. Sure. Exile up to 1 target instant card not named this. Sorcery card and or creature card for each. Sure. This is sorcery. So the instant card not named the Hidanga Discipline makes no sense. I think I would like the reminder text for contracts still. Okay. Sure. 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 Exile up to 2 target non-land permanents. Okay, wait, these terminals are not what I thought they were. How do I feel about them though? It's like this sort of card really can't exist. Like, there's no reason to run it unless it's specifically for terminal synergy, which is a little bit strange. Like, no deck would ever run this unless they're specifically trying to get terminals. And terminals is sort of, it is a 5-color archetype, but it's more a little bit of a 2-color archetype. So this is like one of the worst uncommon cards you can open. Hmm. I suppose there is the implicit synergy that it works with these other terminals. Even so, I think these can all use like a buff. Maybe something along the lines of like it enters tapped unless you control one or more other lands. I think I would rather have it enter tapped later, I mean untapped later in the game than tapped early and tapped early just for limited purposes. Since early on it's not too big of a deal if you have a tapped terminal. But while in constructed, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Yeah, so I'm not a huge fan of these terminals. And do we not just have enough with a 10 cycle at basic? I mean, common? Sure. Funny. Alright. What do I think about this set? There are a lot of really, really strong designs, really solid designs throughout. And I think most of the archetypes are done very well. I think the creature and non-creature at the beginning of your end step to create a new entity, if you did take that, is a little bit overdone. I think I saw 3 cards with this exact trigger and a similar output. I'm very not very high on these terminals. Like being strictly worse than a basic land in most circumstances just kind of is just, I don't know, just seems wrong. I would prefer if I don't know, they were something else. You could still have monocolored terminals. They just have to like monocolored producing terminals. They just have to do something more. Otherwise, there are like a lot of really strongly supported archetypes, and there's a lot of overlap between those different archetypes, as seen with tech. Yo, you could have technique lands, right? Let me. You know what? I'm here. Why don't we just monocolored technique lands? What would they look like? Um, okay. So if we were to design monocolored technique lands, what would I do? So, would be one, probably be the land. Let's throw in some random art. And they would be terminal. Let's call this, uh, rainy day station. I don't know. What was it? Oh, these were exits? Sure. Rainy day exit. It's a terminal land. Um, tech. Oh god. There we go. Technique. Um, we might cast this as instant with only its bracketed text. Do I want them to all have the same technique? Maybe. If that's the case, I can do something like enters tapped unless you control 2 or more other lands. And then, because if you're cycling into it, chances are you already have 2 lands. And then I could do something along the lines of 1 and a U tap sacrifice. Draw a card. Well, I probably don't want to have both cycling 2 and play tap to sack it to draw a card. So I wonder if there's another way I can add this technique idea. Trying to minimize complexity. I do want it to conditionally enter untap, so maybe it enters tapped unless you control another terminal. Man, technique cards are actually a lot harder to make than I thought. Because you can't put it on a cycling ability. You have to put it on the card itself. This is so lame, though. Right? Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe this line of thinking doesn't quite work. Hmm. I do think something along the lines of this would work a little bit better than the existing exit, just because it is a sign, like it does give you some hints of where it could be used. Even this though, like it feels quite weak. Maybe you just put terminal cycling 2 on it. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. Well, this ended up being a lot harder than I thought it would. Yeah. Honestly, you probably don't need this terminal cycle at all. It's probably unnecessary. All right. Overall, I think this is a very solid set. Um, there's a lot to be impressed by, and there are a lot of cards that I think I would be interested in testing out. And I don't think there were maybe like there's like I might be a little bit concerned about this card's power level. Um, Even so, for the most part, it seems very solid. Um, and very well tuned. And still has a lot of constructed playables that I would be interested in trying out. Um, yeah, I can honestly like none of the cards are too weak either. That's like it's not like this is a weak set. There are a lot of things that are very interesting and I think it's worth trying out. Um, there is a little. There are like small polishing things that could be done, like some commas forgotten here or there, or some capitalization. I wouldn't say this is more like significantly more than any other set. Art is solid. Well, I think it's solid. I'm biased on that. And the theming feels a lot more, what is it? Cohesive than I would have expected from a quote unquote anime set. You could get that feeling of students in contracts and um nightlife being like core the core ideas behind the set and not just like anime as a whole. It does, yeah, it does specify into a specific subsect of that idea. Um, which I think is um pretty important at separating Onigaiko's or creating Onigaiko's specific identity. I'm super high on the techniques. I think the various beholds are fine and a good way to introduce the advisors and spirit archetypes, tribal archetypes. I think there are a lot of strong designs. Oh, and Valiant, yeah, solid mechanic. Terminals also, I think it has enough support. Spirits, advisors, yeah, mentioned those already. Um, Oh, and flashback, of course. There's a lot of flashback support as well through the draw discard or looking at cards and putting it to your graveyard. Instruct is also pretty cool. Instruct is fine. It's not like an all-star. Like this all-star mechanic of this set is technique, which I'm a huge fan of. Um, Instruct is fine. I don't have too many issues with it. Um, Now I guess the last thing to do is to choose a favorite card. This is a huge set, actually. 276 cards, I believe. Hmm. Oh, yeah, one more slight criticism. There are a lot of very expensive cards that are. Is that even a criticism? There are a lot of expensive cards, but like most of them have a technique that like slashes its cost. So it doesn't actually cost that much for a lot of them. Um, I think actually overall the mana costs are fine. Hmm. Okay, no criticism there. Choosing a favorite card is a little hard. Like it's very solid all the way through. Is it Kagito Shadow? I think this card is really cool too. Sumugi the Pact Binder. Wait, where's Naoko? No, did Naoko get cut? Aw, come on. Come on. Yeah, Naoko got cut. Unlucky. That's so unlucky. Oh yeah, I don't love both these having the same like passive. Um, favorite card, favorite card. I can't choose two 3 mana value blue black cards as favorite cards, right? That would be like, oh, this is so cool as well. Mm, man, it's so hard to choose. And it's because there are a lot of great designs. It's not like it's not like I can't find any good ones. I just can't choose between them. Boy. I think I'll go with Kagido Shadow. Will I? Uh, I mean, I can't choose Exorcist. It's already in the format. All right, I'll pick Kagido Shadow. Um, it does a lot. I understand that it does a lot, but I think all of it is very fair and is really strong at serving its role as this tempo top end card, where you are able to generate a lot, threaten, like stabilize the board with a solid body with some self protection, as well as tempo, or take advantage of your tempo by converting connected bodies into card draw or pseudo card draw. And I think that's great. Um, yeah. So yeah, Kagido Shadow it is. That's all for Onigaiko. Um, it's getting a little late. I'll see y'all. I think I have one more. And that is the Tachin. Um, yeah, one more set in Tachin, and then I will be done with my voting. Honestly, I think there's a lot of competition this time around for my top spots. I don't actually I have a internal scoring system that I'm not going to share, and I've been giving ratings for different aspects of each set. And as it stands, I don't know which set is on top at all. Um, yeah, I have no clue which set is on top at all. It could be Onigaiko. It could be a number of other sets. Uh, the biggest thing that hurts this set are it's not even a big thing at all. It's those tiny errors in text with the capital C conjure and maybe like a forgotten comma in one place. Um, there are a lot of cards I really want to try out in the format, and I don't. There's like virtually no cards that are immediately striking me as I don't want this at all in the format. So yeah, uh, honestly, very impressed by this set design, and well done to Silver for uh designing it. Anyway, that's all for me. Um, I'm gonna take another look, write some notes down, and fill out the voting sheets. Bye bye.